What's up, guys? This is the Honest Outlaw here, and today I want to do a quick video on the ultimate Glock. I have worked long and hard trying to find the best upgrades with the best gun that I could possibly imagine to make the best Glock to put it in front of you guys here today, and I think I've done that. But before I show you, I just want to mention my Patreon supporters. I really appreciate you guys. We do a monthly giveaway every single month for guns and gear related items. All you have to do to be entered is to just join my Patreon. Also, I want to mention ammo.com. I'll leave a link in the description below for $20 off an order of 200 bucks. Now, we're going to talk about this Glock. The Glock that I wildly overpaid for. Now, I know a lot of you guys are like, why would you buy such an expensive gun? Well, I wanted to see what the peak was. I wanted to see what the tip of the mountain was as far as the Glock platform goes. So the first thing I did is I went and I bought a Glock 34 because, honestly, they're my favorite Glock to shoot on the range. The long sight radius and the lower recoil impulse makes them just a real joy to shoot on the range. And then I went to Agency Arms. Why? Because I did a lot of research on slide cuts and I found out they are the lightest one on the market. So I went with them. They did an excellent job. I also found out that they're one of the more reliable companies when it comes to cracking, because that was one thing I was really worried about. Now, why would you want slide cuts? I mentioned this before, but they lower the reciprocating mass of the firearm. And they also lower the overall weight of the firearm about 2.5 ounces for this gun. So that makes this gun, a Glock 34, around the same weight as your average Glock 17. So I really like that. Now, I was running iron sights like John Wick because I originally based this gun off the gun from John Wick 2 because I thought it looked really cool. And yeah, I can buy guns because they look really cool. It's my prerogative. I do what I want. I ran Dawson Precision sights on it because those are my favorite sighting setup, and Dawson Precision has great customer service, so those are my actual backup iron sights. And I decided I wanted an RMR gun, so I went with a Trigicon RMR Type 2 sitting on top of it. Now, I loved Trigicon RMRs. They are my favorite red dot sight. I've mentioned that several times. They do have one point of aim, making shooting at distance and shooting moving targets a lot easier. Same pros you have on rifles, you have on pistols. However, the same cons you have on rifles, you have on pistols as well. And the problem is you don't have any QD mounts for this, so if it does fog, crack, break, that kind of thing, you're just gonna have to learn to shoot off the top or whatever it may be. Now, this is the Arc Comp, and I really like that. This is actually my second venture into compensators for Glock, so I'm not an absolute expert, but I do know what I want out of a compensator because I shoot a lot of rifles with comps, that kind of thing, and what I wanted was I want lightweight because I want the ability to transfer targets very quickly. And the other thing I wanted was for it to work fairly well, and I wanted it to stay on the gun. A lot of compensators you'll have will either change your point of impact, which is okay as long as it stays that way once the comp is on the gun, or they will turn and twist and move around. This does neither of those. It has two locking screws right here that I both Loctited onto my threaded barrel, and it has been rock solid. In comparison to the Strike comp by Strike Industries, this thing is an absolute rock star. I love it, and it's not even that loud, so you barely notice it, but you do notice the lower recoil impulse, and it will help you with that arthritis you're gonna get as you get older if you shoot as many rounds as I do. I went with the Enforce APLC because it is my favorite light to use. I have the ability to shoot at night whenever I want. I live out in the country, and I've used a lot of weapon lights. This is just my personal favorite to use. It's not the brightest, it's not the toughest, but it is the easiest for me to use because of the large switches, so I like it. I also went with Loki Tactical for the Stippling, and I've had a lot of Stippling companies, but this might be my favorite. The FDE coming out with the black Cerakote on top looks fantastic in my opinion, and it feels great too. Agency Arms originally did the Stippling. I didn't like it. It was too small. It wasn't rough enough, so I went to Loki Tactical. I asked them for the roughest Stippling that they had, and they gave me the Ken Kramer Special, and I absolutely love it. I also cut out the knuckle a little bit more because I've got big hands. I went with a Dawson Precision Magwell. I love it because I can use the large backstrap. I got big hands. Not many Magwells allow you to do that. Also, it's reasonably priced. It works very well, and it's got a cutout here that you can pop out whenever you fuck this one up too much and you want to put a new one on. I really like that. And I have a Johnny Glock trigger in it. Now, I went through a bunch of triggers in this. It came with an Agency Arms trigger. I went with an Apex trigger, and I ended up with Johnny Glock. I had a guy message me about it, and they were like, hey, if you want the best Glock trigger, you got to go see this guy. So I talked to him on the phone for about 30 minutes, and he knew more about triggers than I ever will. And he recommended this one. This is the competition one with the upgraded striker with the second lowest spring, so it will still run all of the ammo, but it's running right around a 3-pound trigger with a pretty fantastic reset for Gen 4. fantastic. Love the trigger, and I love the barrel from Agency Arms as well. I love the platform altogether. Now, all in all, when it's done with the comp and the red dot and the light and the magwell and the Agency Arms job and the Loki tactical job and everything's done with it, plus the extra barrel that I have that's ported from Magnaport, all in all, it's running close to $3,000. Should you spend this much on a Glock? Absolutely not. I really don't think you should. It improved my times by maybe 10%. Now, if you're looking forward to that, if you're going to run a Glock in open division, this might be the way you'd want to go. Absolutely. If you're going to make money off it, if you're going to shoot it on video, if you're going to shoot it in matches, or if you just have the money to throw away, then absolutely go this route. You have every right to do so. Me personally, however, if I had to pick between this and, let's say, my slightly upgraded Glock 34 Gen 5, I would choose that. And I did do a video on that, the $3,000 Glock versus a stock Glock. It doesn't really add that much utility. However, it does add a boatload of cool factor. I mean, it does look really cool, really fun to shoot, and all in all, I feel like I've made it. I feel like I've made it to the top of the Glock mountain. And what did I find out? I think I'll probably move a little bit lower. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later. I love this thing.